Hi everybody and welcome to another video. My name is Richard Seidlitz, I'm the owner of redpants.lol, and today I'm going to talk about something that I think brought a lot of us into the Aston Martin brand. No, I'm not talking about James Bond fantasies or roleplay, and no, I'm not talking about black tie dinners with champagne receptions. What I'm talking about is cleaning throttle bodies. This is what happens when I don't have a drink in my intro. That introduction may have been a little over the top, but I did it because I wanted to get you interested in this topic. Cleaning throttle bodies is one of those tasks that a lot of us overlook because it's not really documented anywhere, it's not a normal thing that you hear about, but it is something that can help your engine run at its best over the long term. Long story short, when an engine's running, it builds up pressure, and that pressure has to be released. However, it can't just be vented to atmosphere because that would release oil vapors. Oil vapors need to be contained, otherwise it's pollution. So those oil vapors get recirculated and dumped somewhere else within the engine and its associated systems. Some go back to the oil reservoir, some go into the intake ducting, some in the intake manifold. Regardless, what we are worried about in this situation is the oil vapors that go into the intake ducts going into the throttle body and those within the intake manifold. What I've got right here is my oil catch can, and I didn't want this to be a sales pitch. I think it kind of speaks for itself, so I will let it, but I wanted to show you how much oil can actually get into your intake manifold. And to give you a bit of a caveat, I drained this only about 4 months ago, but I do daily drive my car. So you've got that sort of give and take. It's been a short period of time, but I drive my car a lot. So you can kind of figure out where you fall in that usability range. But this is something that I wanted to show you because I wanted to give you a real visualization of actual oil going into your actual intake manifold. This isn't hyperbole. This isn't a theoretical situation. This hose on top goes into the intake manifold. And any oil that's inside of this catch can would have gone into the intake manifold. So let's go ahead and see what's in there. This could be a little, it could be a lottle. I have no idea what to expect. Typically it's a lottle because it's an Aston Martin, sir. All right, it's a good thing I wore a white shirt. So 4 months. 4 months of oil. Yeah, it's a pleasant noise. So there we have it. That is, in 4 months, that is probably 95 milliliters is what that looks like. It's just shy of 100. It might run into if I wasn't spilling it everywhere because I'm too busy trying to look at where it's going. With this visualization in mind, you get a better understanding of why we need to consider things like cleaning throttle bodies when we take care of our Aston Martins over the long term. The job itself doesn't require anything special. As you can see, there's some very basic tools in front of me. The first thing we do with this job is removing a clamp, which you can use a single flathead screwdriver on the V12 or a clamp tool on the V8. If you don't have a clamp tool, you can use two flathead screwdrivers. And I'm going to show you how to do it this way so you don't have to buy any special tools for this job. Once the clamp is out of the way, there's a connector, a wiring connector you just pull loose, and then you have 4 8mm bolts. So you'll need an 8mm socket and a ratchet. The extension is optional. I like having it because of the way I work with small hand tools. With the throttle body off, we have behind it either a gasket for the V8 or an O-ring for the V12. But since you have two throttle bodies on the V12 cars, you're going to need 2 O-rings. I do include these with my 2-year service packages because I recommend this job be done every other year, and that's an easy time to do it. The V12 oil change kits do already include 1 O-ring because you have to remove one of the throttle bodies to get that to get to your oil filter. If you want to do this more often though, more than just every other year, I do sell the O-rings and gaskets on their own through Redpants. If you have a V12, you're going to need to pull the O-ring out of the groove that it's embedded in, and so you'll need a pick. If you don't have a pick, you can improvise. You can use a tiny flathead screwdriver, you can use the point of a knife, whatever you use, just be careful not to damage your tool or your car. And then with the throttle body off, we have to clean it. So if you don't have a scrub brush that is dedicated for your garage, you can use an old toothbrush. Just don't use that toothbrush in your mouth again. And some kind of carb / throttle body cleaner. There's nothing special about any of these. You can get any brand, any reputable brand is going to work just fine. But you want to use a carb / throttle body cleaner because this fluid is specifically made for this part of the car, including ingestion into the engine if you use too much. So that's it. The job only takes about 15 minutes, so you can get through it in about 1 margarita. Or whatever this is, because I'm past margaritas at this point. Let's grab our tools and get started. This clamp is the one that we are worried about on the V8. For the V12, it's a metal one that you'll see that has a knockout that you can put the screwdriver in and just pop it open. Here, because we have this big clip, it may not be easy to really separate this with your hands. So the trick is, and be very careful when you do this because it's easy to stab things with screwdrivers, put one of the screwdrivers in this spot and one in this spot. And all you want to do is sort of rotate them up and out, and you can see how you can do that. And that's really the easy trick to getting rid of this clamp. Once that's loose, you don't have to take it all the way off if you don't want to, but we can pull the hose back, and now we have access to our throttle body even more. You're going to need to disconnect this connector that is right down here. It's on the bottom side of the throttle body, so let's go ahead and do that. There's a push tab on the bottom side and the top, and then we just wiggle it loose like so, and that's off. And then we just have our 8mm bolts. They're arranged in a square fashion, so you have the 2 up here, and then you have 2 more that are going to be directly below them on either side. And now with the duct out of the way, we can move the duct for each of these bolts. When we're about to pull our last bolts off on the V8, we want to be careful because the gasket is going to fall as soon as these bolts come out. So one thing that's easy to do is you can just kind of press the throttle body with your hand while you remove the bolts. And these are really long, so it takes a while to unscrew them all the way. There we go. Oh, and don't drop the bolt down the intake duct. And here is our gasket. And our throttle body. And that's it. Now that we have the throttle body out of the car, we can clean it. Use your cleaner and scrub brush, and you can open up the valve itself, the butterfly valve, using your hand. So you can hold it open with one hand while cleaning it with the other. Once you're done scrubbing it, make sure you wipe it off. You can use shop towels or rags or anything like that. Just make sure that you don't leave any debris or lint or anything else in there. You want it to be nice and clean when you reinstall this. Reinstallation is the reverse steps that I just showed you to take everything apart. Make sure you use a new gasket or O-rings for your car. Anytime gaskets or O-rings are removed from a car, they should be replaced with new ones. This is no different. So if you need the parts, you can get them from redpants.lol, and you can also reach out to me for any other questions you might have. Rich@redpants.lol or the contact page of redpants.lol. I'll see you next time.